So I guess they don't talk about drug abuse very much in this book. Interesting. But when I do that, notice how it's going to take any of the keywords that you've searched and it actually highlights them. So, you know, typically if you have got to find something in a book, who has a book here? Let me just use this as an example. How do you, let's say you're holding a book and you need to know, is drug abuse in there? What do you do? Index. Okay, so you're like flipping back to the index and you see, okay, drug abuse 234, and inevitably there's like 10 other pages in there, right? So you have to flip back, look at page 234, then you have to determine where that word is on the page. The fact that you can search this by keyword and it highlights it for you, again, when we talk about just time saving, that's huge, okay? So you're gonna be able to find that, and this book is considered a book just like any other book, okay? It's an ebook, it's just in a different format. Yeah?
So what, you download that to your computer?
Yeah, absolutely. And some of them can be downloaded to devices as well.
And so is it there forever? Is it like kind of like a library where you can get it?
This one will, because it has what we call digital rights management, it will disappear. It will self-destruct when it needs to.
And about how long?
About 3 weeks usually. Yeah, so there's lots of kind of ins and outs about what you have to have on your computer to do that. You usually have to have something, a free piece of software called Adobe Digital Editions. And we're going to be offering some workshops specifically just on downloading our ebooks, using things like EBSCO has a mobile app. So we're going to kind of do some more gadget type courses. So keep your eyes open.
Can you also download these on like tablets and iPads and stuff?
Most of them can be, yeah. It just depends. You would have to look into each individual one and see what you can do with it.
How would you know if you were able to do that?
You would click on, and actually you need to make an account first, but you would come up here and just click on download. Okay? So if you have more questions about that, email. You can have a one-on-one appointment and get all your e-resources onto your gadgets. Okay? So let me ask just a couple more questions on the clickers, and then we're going to wrap it up. Let's go to my next question here. Okay, this is one that we didn't talk about specifically, but we were talking about how you quote in a paragraph and things like that. So let me make sure this is, so plagiarism is including other people's ideas in your paper, using someone else's ideas but not citing, directly quoting a source instead of using your own words. All right, so I click start. What is plagiarism? What is plagiarism? And that's why it's so helpful to have those citations created for us in EBSCO, right? Okay. All right, so we're going to end. All right, exactly. Not citing the source. Not citing the source. That is not the way to do it. If you use an ebook as a source, what is it considered? So I said an ebook is a book just like any book, right? But it is an ebook. So how are we going to mark that in our, because you'll actually say in your citation whether it was print or online. So an ebook is considered what kind of source? Okay, awesome. So it would actually be considered, you're going to cite it just like it's a regular book, but there will usually be one spot where you say that it's an online source.
And is there a way to like easily cite with ebooks? Like there is
In eBrary, there's a way that you can actually get the citation in MLA or APA. Okay, we don't have time to go over that today, but again, you can always ask or email us. Okay. You have a last-minute question about your research. The library is not open. What should you do? Call the library. It will be forwarded to my cell phone. Use Ask the Academic on the website. Email the library, and it will be forwarded to our research librarian. Google search your questions immediately. All right, so it's after hours. Library's not open. What are you going to do? All right, we're almost there. And then I just have a few wrap-up questions. And I know that I'm going over. Okay. So let's see if everybody got that one. You can certainly email, but it's going to take longer. You can certainly Google search if you use the tricks that I showed you, but mostly you would want to use Ask Academic, okay? And here's a true-false. I can only access our databases if I'm on campus. Everybody should get this one right. I can only access our databases if I'm on campus. All right. Absolutely. False. You can access them from home. Okay, so now we're going to go into a couple more questions that I want to ask you guys so I can gauge how much research you've done. This is your first paper or speech for which you've had to use research, the library's resources. True, first time, or false? So most people, you've already done some research before, that's cool. But hopefully, you've learned a couple things.
Oh, yeah.
So my instructor requires that I cite all sources for my research. That's kind of a no-brainer. Okay. Instructor requires that I cite all my sources. Mostly true, usually, right? So my instructors at CCA, that's not me, but the people that teach you in your classroom every day, are knowledgeable about internet research, and you use it in class a lot. So think about your other classes here too. Are your instructors teaching you how to do it? And are you doing it a lot in those classes? All right. Cool. There. So, agree, strongly agree, right? A few spots where you don't agree. Here's a question for you guys just to kind of figure out who has a computer or tablet that you regularly bring to class with you. So I own a portable computer and I bring it to class or the library when needed. All right. Good job. Thanks, you guys. And we're almost done. Let's see. I now feel confident using the web and library resources to do my research. True or false? I feel confident. And even if you do, I mean, you might run into research topics or weird things where you're like, wow, I really thought I wouldn't have trouble tracking this down. That happens to me. Like, I'll be helping somebody on Ask Academic and think, oh yeah, that's a cinch. And then I'll turn and be like, oh man, I'm having a harder time tracking this down than I thought. And so you can hit those bumps. All right, so we've got, all right, just about everybody feeling better or feeling confident. This presentation was well organized and clearly presented. Remember, it's completely anonymous. All right, and then I think we're almost to our last question. Woohoo! Okay. Good answer, good answer. So now I just want to know a little bit about clickers. So using these clickers in the class was fun and engaging, a waste of time. What clickers? Huh? Okay, pretty much got everyone there. And then, last but not least, we kind of did a show of hands at the beginning of class on this, but I'm curious if you've used classes or used clickers in other classes at CCA. So I know we kind of did that at the beginning, but go ahead and do that. And that's all I have. So again, contact us if you need help, if you need full text for an article, if you want to learn more about ebooks, EBSCO's mobile app, anything like that. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, you guys.
Okay, I handed you out 3 pieces of paper. One of them is about your world information speeches. They will start on April the 3rd, if you'll notice I'm holding up